Yeah.
Like a
So like a...
Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Create a sustainable mind frame. Cease the ignorant action game. Live in a world where you can make dreams come true. With Rummy gone, is there anything we can't do? But when hands and soil lead to open eyes, the desire to pollute quickly dies. One day we'll see we're all a part of life's web and begin to participate in its flow and ebb. We are the roots of a growing tree, so let's create a world that's joyful for you and me. With the birds and the bees, live simply.
This is Peak Moment. We are living at a peak of human innovation, information, wealth, and health. But we're also at a peak of population and consumption, with rising temperatures and declining resources fueled by cheap oil and gas. Peak Moment Television, bringing you examples of positive responses to energy decline and climate change through local community action.
Hi, welcome to Peak Moment. I'm Janaea Donaldson. I'm at Santa Barbara City College. Here, the students at the Student Sustainability Coalition are doing a number of projects to bring the awareness of sustainability and real tangible projects to their campus. Come join me for a tour. I noticed at the campus center some wonderful tables with bright colored signs. It's part of the Student Sustainability Coalition, and I'm here with the current president, Sarah Freeman. Hi. Hi. What is this about?
Well, this is about Sustainability Week. It first started with Earth Week, which I started when I came to this campus. I got inspired and involved, and I wanted to put on a week-long event that told people about many diverse issues, because I wanted to put a lot of information out there that is usually not provided with students. I also wanted to put out the message that if we have a healthy Earth, we also will have healthy people. So the first week was in the spring 2005, and it was Earth Week. We had a day like solar energy day, like renewable energy day, social justice, organic food. We have music during the day, and we have lots of vendors and local organizations that come, and we basically want to provide the most diverse information as possible. And the goal is, if one person walks away inspired, or that little light that turns on from anything, that's an accomplishment.
So you've done that now 2 springs.
2 springs.
Right?
And we're about to have our second Sustainability Week.
So, Shanti, you're doing Sustainability Week just right next week, actually,
Next week.
2nd week of November.
November 13th through the 17th.
What do you do in a Sustainability Week?
So this year, it's similar to the years before. We're having lots of local organizations attend. The special thing about this year is our theme is organic food. We're bringing up market vendors from the local farmers markets in Santa Barbara to sell their produce and their goods on campus to spread awareness about the availability of all this amazing organic fresh food in our county, our area.
You are in a very, very blessed to be in a wonderful place for that.
It's true. So true. And again, we're having local musicians, some student musicians, free yoga classes from instructors around the community. They're doing them for free. And Wednesday night we'll be having a film night. Sarah found a great film called Deconstructing Supper. It basically traces ingredients of foods back to their origins, talks about GMOs. And then Thursday night we're going to be having a lecture as well, talking about sustainable city planning.
Great. Good for you. So why do you do this?
I'm interested in campus events because they promote activity, they facilitate networking, and they generate more ideas. And that's kind of where I'm at for this event.
I think what you see is a couple of world movers and shakers in formation. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
I noticed when I walked into the cafeteria, there are signs at the vegetables saying organic. You don't find that on every campus. So I want to know, what led the sustainability group, Katie, to have this happen?
Basically, we as students wanted to educate ourselves and individuals on campus and individuals in the community on where their food comes from. So we, in the Student Sustainability Coalition, created an organic foods group, which was a group of students who decided to embark on that mission. And our goals were to raise awareness on campus and try to connect students, faculty, and staff with with our local farmers, with the education of what actually goes into the food, the processes that are involved in it, and to try to inspire others to think critically about what they're eating and where it comes from, and ultimately where it goes as well.
Fabulous. All right. So I want to ask Shauna, what did it take to have it actually happen here in the cafeteria?
So in order to get organic foods onto campus, we had to mobilize the students in support, and we had to motivate the faculty and experience and educate everyone in what it meant to be organic and why this was so important to have on campus. And once we got both of those people, the faculty and the students working together, we were able to move forward and getting organic produce into the cafeteria and like monitoring where it was coming from and who was going to get it and what was the best source.
And I bet it took some help from the cafeteria service to actually do it.
Oh, of course.
Right?
We couldn't have done it without them.
So my question to Tammy, who is the manager of the food services facilities here, what do you have to do to make this a reality ongoingly for campus?
Basically, it required finding reliable year-round sources for the organic products. Organic produce is seasonal, of course, like any other produce. And anything that you grow in your garden, you're going to be able to find on a farm. But it was finding a reliable, dependable, regular source that would provide not only good produce and regular service, but the delivery service that facilitated the ability to actually provide it on the salad bar. Because as you understand, I'm sure, trying to find these products on our own and actually going and getting them on a daily basis would be cost prohibitive, time prohibitive, and business impacting. So we finally decided to go with local farmers, and the service that we get is awesome. We get daily deliveries of fresh produce that's been picked either the evening before or the morning of the day that it's delivered. And that allows us to provide all of this beautiful organic and fresh produce to all of our customers. And it's really, really spurred and just created such an excitement. We love it. I get all excited every time we get a new delivery. You know, I'm the first one to dive into the fresh lettuce. And I actually did take a tour, a 3.5-hour tour one day of one of our local farms up in Los Olivos, and saw where a lot of our lettuce products and some of our celery products and a lot of our produce is actually coming from daily. And the farmer was very informative and very supportive of our efforts. And that's what it is, the support of the community as well as the students. And then my boss, Mark Sullivan, has also been a tremendous facilitator in this because he actually supported the idea, was very responsive and receptive to the students who came to him and wanted to do this. And he ran with it. He gave it to me, and if it hadn't been for that, coming from them to him to me, it wouldn't have happened. So it's actually an entirely joint effort.
What I really hear here is that you need all the levels of support in the management to do this, and it's coming from the grassroots because
Absolutely.
of your student demand. I mean, that's the model for the world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So I want to ask Victoria, where do you envision this? Where do you hope it's going to go? Where do you want to expand
We're
this
hoping
to?
for about 90% of the salad bar to be organic. Yeah, in the near future, we get as much as we possibly can, and hopefully local as well.
Well, I salute you all for doing something that I hope happens on every campus because you're a model. And also, I hope that you feel empowered. This is a good example for you of what a few people can do to make a difference in your world, your health, your future, and everyone else's too. So, way to go, and keep munching. Here at Campus Center, among the tables, there's a solar panel along with some real interesting signs. And I'm here with Alex to ask about what's this about?
Okay, well, I'm with the Campus Climate Challenge, which is a project that is supported through sustainability, the sustainability cost. But Campus Climate Challenge is actually much bigger than that. It's a project of 30 leading environmental and social justice organizations throughout the United States and Canada. It's founded and led by students, and it's one of the largest environmental projects in history right
Far
now.
out.
Yeah,
That is
definitely.
cool, yes.
It's really cool.
So what do you do?
Well, basically, we're working to get solar panels on top of the school.
Aha, that's why the panel's here,
Yes,
huh?
that is why the panel's here. So we're working to get towards that, but while we're doing that, we're trying to build support and raise awareness for the students, the faculty, and the staff, enlighten them about what they can do to fight global warming. I mean, at this point, the general consensus is that global warming is in fact a problem. But there's a lot of talk about global warming as a problem and not enough about the solutions.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's the focus of the Campus Climate Challenge, is to let people know that we can do something to stop this.
And what do you propose solutions to folks here that they could do?
Yeah, actually, we have the pledge that people sign when they come here. And basically, there's a list of 7 things that people are pledging to do in their personal lives and how they can fight global warming in themselves. And while they're supporting that, they're also supporting us in our initiative to get solar panels on top of the gym.
That's great. So you want the school to be generating at least some part of their electricity
Yeah.
from renewables.
Definitely. I mean, ideally, the Campus Climate Challenge would love to see the global warming pollution from the school down to 0%.
Yes.
And that's a really far out goal.
Yes.
So we got to start somewhere. So we're starting with the gym, and we'll see what happens from there.
Good for you. What kind of response are you getting?
For the most part, it's really positive. I mean, there's always the people that are like, I don't believe in global warming, you know, but for the most part, people are really like responsive to this. Like, oh, well, what can I do? Like, people see our table and are like, oh, how can I help you? And it's like, well.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so my last question is, why do you do this? Why do you work on this project?
Well, for a number of different things. I actually was fortunate enough to travel to the Arctic and learn about global warming from the Inuit people that are up there. I mean, we understand that global warming is a problem here, but like seeing it from them firsthand, they're actually experiencing it, you know, and that really set me off like, well, what can I do? And then I started working for CalPERG, and we worked on Assembly Bill 32, which just got passed in California, which in a nutshell says California is going to reduce its global warming pollutions in the near future. So that's great. And then I came to City College, like, what can I do here? And I had the intentions of Campus Climate Challenge, and everyone told me that the sustainability class would help me out. So I networked, got to know them, and now we're all working together, and it's really beautiful.
So good for you. I think you've got a part of your career starting out right here, don't you think?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Oh, good luck. All right. I'm in the corner of the student dining hall with Oceana, who has cornered me with this trash bin. Why are we here?
This is actually a recycling bin.
It is. I think we need to make this much more obvious.
Yeah. The awareness here is very non-existent.
So, tell me, what's happening around recycling here at campus?
Well, just if we can take a look in our actual recycling bin, there's a lot of trash and recyclables that can't be recycled because if it's not washed out, it can't be recycled.
So what are you planning to do to raise awareness about that here on campus?
Well, to start out, we would like to make very prominent posters that say what is recyclable, what is not recyclable, and that you have to wash your containers. As well as some facts about why it's important to recycle.
So that's what's coming up next. Are very many people recycling now, do you think?
Not nearly enough. It needs to be 100%.
So what do you hope to go with it? After you get the signs made, then what?
Well, we'd like to make the signs as well as move the recycling bins and trash bins to more appropriate places, so we can facilitate recycling, so it's easier for people to do. Because many people are very busy and they're not really thinking completely about recycling more than, say, they're going to their class, they need to get there on time, they have an exam, whatever. People are busy here in college. So we'd like to move them to appropriate places, put up the signs, and that is our first step right now.
Do you have another step in mind?
Yeah, we're starting with the cafeteria, as this is the place with the highest flow of students. And then we'll next move on to outside and the whole campus, increasing recycling awareness.
Okay, great. May you have huge recycling response.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm with Sean in the Student Center here, and I want to know, thank you for joining me, I'm glad.
You're welcome.
What's happening around transportation? Because that's a pretty thorny issue with students and transportation.
Yeah, well, transportation on our campus is really bad, depending on who you talk to. It's people can't find a space to park. They're showing up for classes late, and they can't seem to, like, it's become a real educational barrier, and actually prevented a lot of students from succeeding in their schooling.
So it's individual parking spaces for all the cars?
Yeah. Apparently when you have 17,000 students, you have to have 17,000 parking spaces to accommodate a spot for everybody.
Wow.
So obviously there's financial implications for maintaining 17,000 parking spaces. So what we're really trying to do is look at the other alternatives. How do most people get around in this world? Because most of us aren't living in the United States and we don't have the option of a car. A lot of us living within the United States equally don't have the option of a car. So what we're really trying to do is make sure that the car is a choice. It's something that's available for the people who need it, who have children that they have to pick up from school, who have other jobs that they have to get to. But that those who don't need that mobility have options. They're able to use bicycles, they're able to use the bus, they're able to use commuter rail, regional buses, carpool, van pool, any option we can create. I love to skateboard, and I don't see nearly enough students doing that up the hill to get here.
So is this an education project of the students here? I mean, how are you going to try and shift that balance?
Well, the main problem comes with incentives. Essentially, the school is looking at building a $10 million parking structure. If you put a $10 million incentive into drivers, that's a huge subsidy saying that, look, if you drive, we're going to give you $10 million to help you get here. If you use the bus, so get here anyway.
So part of what you need to do is work on incentives that come for students to use the alternatives.
Right. We have to demonstrate that there is a market, that students are willing to use alternatives, and we have to strengthen the basis of that market and make sure that alternative transportation is funded and is available and is convenient and can compete with cars.
So how are you going to, just a word on how are you going to try and have that happen?
Well, what we're doing is just a lot of outreach to students, letting them know what options already exist in their community, trying to make things like electric bicycles available, trying to make things like just different goings on in our community, make sure that the students are aware. We recently had a ballot initiative for the county, which would have put $688 million into alternative transportation over the next 30 years. What we did as a student group was try and get that information out to students, to the staff, and to the faculty, so that they could vote yes and it wouldn't have to come out of our community college's budget. And that would just be the beginning, making sure that our college follows through, and all transportation funding is comprehensive transportation funding. That it funds buses, it funds bicycles, it funds people that walk, as well as people that drive their car.
Great. That's what I really like is that sense of comprehensive, is that a kind of equality for all the modes to get us out of the individual cars. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sitting out with the ocean behind us in Santa Barbara with Leif Skoberg, who started with another person the Students Sustainability Coalition, right, a number of years ago. What led you to do that?
Mainly seeing all of the problems in our world today, global warming, species loss, all the ones we're familiar with, and not seeing much action, and wanting to have students inspired by seeing a campus that was leading the way.
So what kind of projects did you get going with in the early years there?
Well, we started out with the ones that are real tangible, recycling, composting, the ones that were kind of the low-hanging fruit per se. And we expanded to try and include everything that was included within the parameters of sustainability.
So how did you want to enlarge that? In what way were going to try and make a difference in terms of the administration or the whole running of the campus?
Well, our goal was to institutionalize sustainability in a really general way, so that the campus was thinking about it in every decision they made, so that students were inspired by what the campus and the old people were doing, or the elders, and to just have it be seen and be commonplace on this campus.
So I understand you did programs for the students to get more aware, like the and the staff probably, like recycling. How do you institutionalize that? What idea did you have to institutionalize?
Well, our first step was meeting with administrators, getting together with the key players on the campus and finding out who we needed to talk to make policy change. So we were able to get in communication with them, and then we started writing resolutions and working with the administration and faculty and staff. We ended up doing an assessment of the campus and finding out where the campus was environmentally already.
And how were they doing, actually?
Pretty well. The campus was doing a lot in different areas, but nothing was coordinated. No one knew about what the campus was doing, and it wasn't very visual or advertised. And so after we started doing this research and finding out what the campus was doing, we were able to present to the president and the board of trustees the sort of environmental assessment, and then we're able to give them a list of recommendations.
And have they done anything with any of those recommendations?
Well, they've nothing tangible yet, except create a Center for Sustainability, which at this point is somewhat conceptual. There's no actual center, but it's beginning the process of creating a structure and a curricula and a program around sustainability and creating a more of a sustainable ethic here on campus.
Sounds to me like part of what that's going to be is just having it be more in everybody's attention. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, for a last statement is, where would you love it to go? What you started?
Well, I'd love for the club to serve as a means for students to express their creativity and make change in society, and allow them to become empowered with all their own unique abilities. And I'd like to see sustainability become not just a buzzword, but an actual ethic and philosophy where people live with respect for all life on the planet, and are really looking at all areas of the campus and how things can become more interconnected and interdependent.
It's a great vision. I think it's worth expanding to the whole world. Thank you for starting it here. I'm here with Adam Green, who's a professor in environmental sciences and the faculty advisor for the Student Sustainability Coalition. Thanks for joining me. I understand the students got you all to do a course on sustainability. Tell us about this.
Yeah, it started off, I came in as a new instructor in environmental studies, and we've had some very passionate students that asked me to be the faculty advisor for their club. It was really a transition from another faculty member to me. And I came in first a little skeptical about what they were doing, and quickly learned that they were actually very well versed in the science of it, in the positive movement that was sustainability, that they were very passionate about what they were doing. And it started off as club efforts that quickly transitioned into a course. What the students realized is that the projects that they were doing, they simply didn't have enough students able to get them all done, because there were over a dozen possible projects to be done on campus associated with sustainability. And they felt if we could get college credit for this, more students could get involved, and they could get credit for learning how to do this, to learn these job skills of holding meetings, of writing up a project, of achieving a goal in a timely manner, and work on a project that they're passionate about. And the college really liked the idea, so we quickly, within a couple of weeks, got it through as a course and eventually gave it its own name. It's now Environmental Studies 200, Projects in Sustainability. It's a 2-credit course that students sign up for. We meet once a week, every Thursday evening, and there are guest lectures, and I do some lecturing, but most of it is choose a project on this campus or in this community that is going to achieve a greater level of sustainability, decrease the environmental impact in some way, and go with it for a semester and try to get something done. So everything from bringing in organic, locally grown food into our cafeteria, which we've now successfully done, is based on a student project. Working on getting solar panels on this campus. decreasing the number of single occupancy vehicles coming to campus, working towards outreach and education in the communities, not only with our own students and our faculty and our staff, but with our local high schools and elementary schools. Numerous different projects now students are picking, working on as a group, and then working for a semester to achieve. Some of them they complete in a semester, like putting on Sustainability Week. Others are ongoing, such as trying to get solar panels on campus. What has happened is in doing this, the students have brought sustainability back into the consciousness of the college. And so we've got faculty members that were always interested in this, but didn't really feel the students were that involved, or coming out of the woodwork. We have staff that have been working. Head of facilities is coming out and talking about green building. We have a head of food services is talking about organic cooking. We have all of these groups now coming out, and the term sustainability is now part of the conversation. So much so that just this fall now we have funding to start a new center for sustainability. So it's not a physical center, it's an intellectual center. But we are going to be coordinating new curriculum on campus in different departments, trying to instigate courses in green business practices, in green design, in our construction academy. We've even written an entire grant to the Department of Labor to infuse green building technology into all of the construction academy classes. So all the trades people that come here to learn about it are also learning environmentally friendly methods. We're shooting for this green collar job opportunity now. And it is really an opportunity for students that are going in a community college to look towards vocational training, but also look towards transfer to UCs. And that's going to be how we're going to get this change. Because if we don't change it now, we're going to face a lot greater problems in the future.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
You're watching Peak Moment, community responses for a changing energy future. This community, our college students, and they're our future. Join us again. I'm Janaea Donaldson. Thanks for watching.